They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place.
Everybody, what's up? It's Hold the Truth Hostage, where the truth was so important we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now this is part two of the price of feminism. Now the other thing is this: the biggest aspect a lot of women don't understand is the price. You know, when it started, you know, it was all about, you know, women getting more rights so they can, you know, reflect their grievances, you know, and that's a positive. You need a way for women to, you know what I'm saying, share their grievances and, you know, allow the governing body to pay attention to that. The problem is, and I touch up on this a lot of times, the problem is when the government gives, you know, when they gave women the right to vote in 1920, the government did this knowing and allowed it because the government had a major loophole. The loophole was this: that if 500,000 men vote, 450,000 women vote, we'll count all the votes. We won't equalize it based on the sexes. As in, since only 450,000 women voted, and we'll only count 450,000 of the male votes. That way you don't have a way where the government seeks to appeal to one sex to obtain the votes they require. And that's what we're in right now. Now, the other sacrifice feminism demands that women don't pay attention to is that it demands that they sacrifice their future and are sacrificing their eldership as older women to be respected by the younger women and to actually present to them some valid perspectives of moving forward. You know what I'm saying? It used to be a rarity where you would see a lot of, you know, women not having a husband or any stability. Now it's become, you know, it's the majority now. What is it now? I think it's over 80% single mother, unmarried in the black community. Then it's over, basically on average, it's over 60%, you know. And what feminism did is it destroyed. Now imagine, remember what I told you about that loophole, the loophole the government left behind where it doesn't equalize the votes based on the sexes. What the government did with feminism, and what a lot of women don't understand, is it made them the perfect pawn on the chess table. You see, women don't go to war, women don't do as much, they're not the majority workers on the dangerous jobs, mines, construction, and so on. So women don't die as much. So the government has an endless amount of female voters. So what the government did with feminism is it used that as a tool to weaponize women. A lot of women think, you know, it's weaponizing us against men, but in actuality, it's weaponizing women against their fellow woman. You see, what happens is, with feminism being all about anti-stability and depending on a man, is that it promotes openly that you as a woman shouldn't be a wife. You shouldn't be dependent on any woman, any man at all. You should be dependent on the only thing stable is a job that's fluctuating and changing as the technology switches, whether that job is useful, and the government, the ever-changing parties that are constantly being voted in and out. The government isn't stable. You know what I'm saying? So what it did is it weaponized women against two things. Weaponized them against men, but mostly it weaponized women against themselves. You see, it promotes openly that when a woman's younger, she should basically open herself up to more strangers in her life. You know what I'm saying? Having a higher sex count, as she is younger. And the reason for that is it opens up her loyalty to strangers, her loyalty to determining that her joy in life is actually being around strangers and that she is consumed by her feelings. Now, here's where it weaponized women. What it did is, against women, is that what it did, it basically, with no-fault divorce, child support, and so on, what it did is it weaponized women to be an antagonist to the stability of the family. What a lot of women don't get is this. When they've made no-fault divorce, child support, a biased family court that operates outside of the factual court, the regular court that finds justice and all that, that is armed with abilities that rival the CIA and FBI as they operate on their own. And what it did is it weaponized women to destroy their own family values and establishment based on their feelings. Since there's no fault divorce, if a woman wakes up today and doesn't feel right, she could divorce her husband. No questions asked, destroy that family based off her own feelings. And then you have a majority of feminism tell women, any woman that stays at home, that is loyal to a stable family and a household that provides for her loved ones, that's actually working and doing laundry, cleaning for her husband, someone she could trust, that is more loyal to her than the government, that is more stable than the government, that will stand by her side without votes, without party lines, and so on. It's a negative. And what that's done is it allowed a lot of women, and it promotes that sacrifice. You must sacrifice your husband. You must sacrifice your fertility and youth. You know what I'm saying? And what it's done is it's turned older women that used to be looked up to as elders to the younger women into competition. They're seeking to compete and attack the younger women. That's why you have a war where whenever a man, I think it was, I forget the celebrity's name. Yeah, I think Ben Affleck right now is dating a chick that's 20 something, and he's 50 or something. Then, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's dating, models and stops dating them at a certain age, which should be his choice. But because those older women no longer can use their appeal of youth to compete with the younger women, what they do is they shame and attack the older men that are choosing to be with the younger women. Really, what they're doing is they're indirectly attacking the younger woman from capitalizing and utilizing her youth to have a man be around her. Because the thing about a woman's youth is her youth is the window to get pregnant, have a healthy child, and have a level of loyalty that is binding a man by blood since she had his child. But a lot of the older women, since feminism demands that they sacrifice their womanhood, they sacrifice any stable relationship to have more activity with strangers, men you don't know, that you just know that they can make you feel good. As in, it programs women to operate blindfolded, where they literally drive and navigate their lives through their feelings. You know what I'm saying? This man's gonna make me feel good. That man's gonna make me feel good. That feel good, to the point where those women who slept around with many men, become addicted. You see, a lot of men, they don't put this on women. They become addicted to not just sex, but they become addicted to their feelings. They become consumed by their feelings to the point where they can no longer place that in the back burner or as secondary beyond the priority of having stability. That's why you see a lot of these women at age 40, not married, complaining and angry because they've been consumed by feeling good. They can no longer operate on a narrative where they place their priority of stability, which requires a level of thinking and notions. So what feminism has done is it's armed and made the older women antagonistic towards the younger women. You know what I'm saying? It's basically made them at odds and basically fighting each other. You know what I mean? At war with one another. Instead of, okay, when I was young, I did, I found my man, I settled, well, women can't settle. Like I said, a man can settle because a man is settling to that one woman's ability to breed, her limitations. That's why a man is the only one that could settle. You know what I'm saying? It basically, a woman allows herself to be with a man, a good man. You know what I'm saying? But what's happened is, since feminism has broken down the structure of a woman depending on the stability that a man would provide, it's left these older women bitter and angry towards, it's not that they're angry that, they didn't get married or found somebody. They're angry that they can no longer live in that illusion where all they do is follow what feels good. You know what I'm saying? Being consumed by what feels good and not having to think or care. You see, and the more bodies a woman has, a lot of the MGTOW and, red pill community like to talk about, her inability to pair bond. But, they leave it at that. They don't go further. The more she sleeps with men, the strangers, the more she becomes, as I said, consumed by feeling good above all. You know what I'm saying? And the older she gets, the less access to feeling good she has. When she's in her, let's say, 20s, she could feel good at any time. She can make a call. She's at her youth and all that. She can make a call. Basically, you gotta look at what feminism promotes is an addiction to a drug that you get more of this drug based on how young and fertile you are. That's what you gotta look at. That's what it did. And another thing it's promoted is them sleeping around, putting themselves at risk to STDs, sicknesses, you know what I'm saying? All those, and opening themselves to that. Then removing the level, and as it's done with removing shame or anything like that, it's made women more able to operate. When it's not shamed that all you have to offer is WAP, as a whopper, you know what I'm saying? That's what we calling them now, they whoppers. You know what I'm saying? As a whopper, all you got to offer is WAP. You know what I'm saying? You got nothing else. When that WAP actually deteriorates as you get older, it's no longer as attractive as the younger women, the younger WAPs. You know what I mean? The ones that could provide a youthful WAP. So it weaponized women against women. So, but what women do, they attack other women indirectly. For example, like I said, DiCaprio's with a younger woman. You know what I'm saying? Ben Affleck was dating a younger woman. Who else? What's my man's name? Forget his name right now. But he was dating a younger woman. But women don't like to attack each other directly. So they'll attack through the man indirectly. They'll say it's a shame that this older man is dating a woman of age that's, 20 years below him. When in actuality, they're both adults. But what they're basically doing is they're taking opportunities away from that younger woman to be happy with an older man. You know what I'm saying? With a man in general. Because they can't compete with that younger woman's youth. So they have to attack that younger woman indirectly. And what you have, because of the way feminism has been used to destroy and destabilize the family, to create an economic boom of consumerism and increase of STDs and overall domestic violence, the prison facility increase. You know what I'm saying? There's an economic reason behind the whole, you know what I'm saying, pro single mother household and all that. It's an economic reason for that. Because when a woman doesn't have a man and the children don't have a man, they become open. They're wide open towards advertisement, towards government programs. They're wide open and easier to take and manipulate. You know what I mean? So to me, that's one aspect of it. And feminism is all about a woman sacrificing her awareness of what it means to be a woman. And what it's created is it's created a loop that women before no-fault divorce weren't in this loop. You know, you would see the older women talk to younger women. You know what I'm saying? They let them know, you know, you could have a good life, you could start a family and so on. But what it's done is it's created a loop where women will just keep going in circles. That's why you see, you see women at age 50 still on Instagram trying to be nude and so on. It's created a loop of continuous competition between the younger woman and the older woman, even though the older woman is outdated and no longer can provide what she could in her youth, which is a healthy child and energy to be nurturing of that child. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's created. Feminism has weaponized women against women. You know what I mean? And another thing it's done, and I touched up on this, my video series, Feminism Fuels the Future. The biggest thing it's doing also is that it's weaponizing society to seek a replacement for women. You know, a replacement between men and women having sexual intercourse to actually breed. You can watch my series, Feminism Fuels the Future, and you'll see what I mean. I plan to touch up on that in part 3. Well, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Peace.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of